Alrighty, welcome back to another edition of the short-term weekend tournament on the FTF server. This is a match between Shuuka and Nyamu. So we're gonna see Shuuka bring Rune and Dragon against Nyamu's Rune and Shadow. I believe this is gonna be both spell boosts, but I'm gonna go check the deck list really quickly. Uh, Let's see. Shuka spell boost armed. Yup, and Nyamu is oh right, I almost forgot. Nyamu is the one person playing chess rune. There's no Sephi runes in the of the rune players, and then last word's shadow. So it's gonna be tough for Nyamu if he has to play chess into spell boost, which is exactly what we're gonna see here. So yeah, this is very unfavored for chess unless like this mulligan right off the bat I think is a little inaccurate from Nyamu. You have to like when you play chess in this matchup, you have to toss your entire hand for check. Because what happens in this matchup is you make a full board of pawns, and then the spell boost player just kills off all your non-pawn followers and all your and then starts greater willing whatever biggest pawn you make. So without check, you just can't threaten anything. But the good thing for Nyamu here is that Shuka's hand is really awkward. I think she solo kept the Mari, which is good. Mari is like one of the best cards in the deck. And but unfortunately that means that she's stuck with like no card draw and no targets for these greater wills. After the nerf, greater will cannot be used on the opposing leader, which yeah, so Shuka's gonna have another one of these slow spell boost hands, which I really feel for it because that's how most of my games with spell boost go. Alright, so Nyamu's gonna take advantage of this opportunity to get rid of one of his pawns, slightly progressing his game plan, but without a knight in his hand, it's a little awkward to do this. He is approaching his first evote, and this is going to give Shuka some juicy greater will targets, which she's been looking for. But it's not like Nyamu really could have avoided this. As soon as he puts a follower in play, greater will is playable for Shuka. Shuka is going to choose the greater will, the rook. That's slightly interesting, and there's the check in hand now for Nyamu. So this next board from Nyamu is going to look really strong. And I think the thing is I might have chosen to use Greater Will on the pawn, just in case Nyamu has some kind of sneaky play with check involved. Pawn is going to represent a little more damage potential than the rook, and in fact, Nyamu is going to choose to evolve this rook, which will not increase his damage output. I think he wants to play check this turn. I don't think I like this. The reason here is just that this interaction between queen and check is a little bad in that queen will generate the pawn after the buff pawn from check is put into play. And I think what Nyamu wants to do is go full wide on the board and then play check for more damage. So this is a lot of damage threatened, but he didn't actually convert the damage, which gives Shuka time here to just negate this board, and that's actually kind of slowing him down. Like the rook is a priority removal target, of course. The queen is not that big of a deal. The queen kind of actually slows Nyamu down because every time Nyamu wants to play a spell, she's gonna make more followers on the board. And just Nyamu hasn't found a knight. Knight is kind of the most important thing. That's kind of your mid game payoff card. And Shuka's gonna choose to greater will this rook again, and she can probably chill here. A little awkward with this hand. Yeah, this hand's a little awkward, but the zero cost crushing rain is like equally good this turn and the next, so I think it's better for Shuka to do nothing here. I mean, sniping this pawn would be good, but it's also, yeah. Alright, so now it's Nyamu's turn. He immediately choosing to evolve the queen. It gives him a zero cost pawn, but that's kind of overcrowding his hand here, so that's a little awkward. And it also plays the pawn, gets another magical strategy. There's one thing I don't like about using the alt art magical strategy here is that it lets your opponent keep track of the ones in your deck and the ones you generated more easily, but that's not that big of a deal, right? It's just a weird optimization thing. And yeah, so Nyamu has a full hand here. Definitely a lot of aggressive plays, but I think we can see that here that if he had gone wider and saved the check for this turn, definitely would have a little more damage potential. But still, Shuka's hand is not ideal. Meltina is unfortunately at 3 spell boosts right now, so I think what she should lead off with Meltina into then the Crushing Rain. Mostly because Meltina can remove one of these targets, one of these 2 targets, and the Crushing Rain becomes a little better. So yeah, Meltina now is gonna spell boost the other Meltina, and then let's see. And then still a little bit awkward here. Is this a full clear? I don't think there's a full clear here, but Chakram Crushing Rain. Ooh, plays the Sacred Bird of Wisdom. Oof, these pings are, yeah. These pings have not been in Shuka's favor, and she's still facing down a lot of pressure. I think it was maybe Chakram into Chakram Evo Crushing Rain there, which is a full clear. And then she can dump out 2 C males, which is risky though. That is risky if Nyamu has a knight in hand, because that gives Nyamu a king setup and no follow up for Shuuka. So this is okay for if Shuuka doesn't get lethal here. I think she's okay. This is 4 4 4 2. That's 10 damage. But I think her hand is just a little tad slow. These Meltinas are way too high, way too low on spell boost right now. And another check for Nyamu, but he doesn't have the play points to play it. And no knight in hand. He's gone through half his deck and has not seen a single knight. And I think part of the problem here is keeping that king. And like, this is the real kicker of the deck, right? Like, it's turn 6 and Nyamu is still at 6 pawns leaving play, so these kings are still stuck in his hand. The good thing for Nyamu is that Uranus is now doing damage, so like, definitely Shuuka is gonna be forced into having to clear. I wonder if there's a line to lead off with Meltina this turn for Shuuka. See, so yeah, because Meltina would spell boost the Chakram. And then Chakram costs 1 less. Okay, but Chakram now most likely means Crushing Rain. Like Chakram Evo and then Crushing Rain, I think. But I think leading off Meltina was just the slightest bit better because of the sequencing. And then Shuuka's going to play a cost reduction, so play the Meltina. But yeah, so I think we can see that she's kind of paying for it here with the Orchestral Mage draw. If the ordering of Chakram and Meltina would reverse, this Orchestral Mage would be playable this turn. So not ideal, but also not the end of the world here. I think Chakram Evo is now gonna C male Evo? That's not lethal though, right? I think Chakram Evo definitely looks a little better. Does this allow Nyamu to lethal? Let's see. So magical strategy. So trade off. Okay, so let's see. How would Nyamu do this? Oh, he doesn't have. No, he doesn't have He doesn't have enough play points because he's only at 6 pawns left play right now. So Okay, so 2 magical strategies. Oh no, we have to leave this one in play. Magical strategy. Trade off these 2. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way to lethal here for Nyamu. So he's gonna lead off with, now that he can sack both of those pawns. It's kind of fun to be able to use chess lingo here. After sacking both of those pawns, Nyamu has the ability to play a magical strategy for 2 pawns. Wait, what is this? Why we want a Uranus, right? So Uranus should target this 3 defense one here. Okay, Nyamu's gonna play. I think Nyamu might be looking for healing. Okay, and then check. Not playing Uranus at all. And that means Nyamu's gonna just die to this Orchestral Mage in hand, I think. Oh no, this is just not a clear. Yeah, I think Nyamu had to play the Uranus and clear a little more efficiently there just to stay out of lethal range. And it could have worked, to be honest. I think with his hand, but yeah, this is definitely just more than enough damage here from Shuuka, so she can even play both the Raining Blades and the Crushing Rain, and that is going to be lethal. Yeah, I think Uranus was a must-play for Nyamu there, but so yeah, definitely just don't keep Mystic King in this matchup. I mean, I don't keep Mystic King in any matchup with chess, but definitely not in this matchup. Because uh, you won't get your pieces removed unless you play check on a wide board of pawns. So magical strategy check, rook, are the party mulligans. Queen going first, but not second. Queen second is usually really good, but queen second here, if you don't have check, often slows you down because your board is too wide. And turn 4 is like really late when you're going second in this matchup. Anyway, so that's game 1 to Shuuka. Nyamu is gonna go second again with chess, and he's chosen to keep magical strategy and check. I see, like, check. I'm still kind of torn about playing check here. Ooh, okay. Shuuka, turn 1, hammer, dragon newt. That's so the only problem with this line is now Draconic Armor has no. Wow. Okay. Whoa. Wait. We really should be playing Draconic Armor first. Yeah. Like, this turn was probably with Draconic Armor Adherence. Because Shuuka kind of ripped the arm follower off the top of her deck. Okay, another arm follower. You know, never mind. I'm just gonna shut up. And now Draconic Weapon. I'm just not a believer, I guess. Yeah, and this is a lot of pressure out here from Shuuka for sure. But that's all 3 Swiftblade Dragon Newts. Can she's currently at 1, 2 arm. This is 3 armed in play. The check from Nyamu is gonna allow him to remove the Swiftblade again, leaving Hammer Dragon Newt in play. But this Hammer Dragon Newt damage is not that trivial, so Draconic Weapon, Freya. And then I think Adherent was better like a couple of turns ago, because the issue now is that Adherent needs to be put to 4 defense to not get traded over, not immediately just traded into by Queen. So Adherent would have done way more damage a couple of turns ago, and Shuuka instead is going to choose to just play Adherent out without picking up a piece of armor. Which is saving the weapons for Forte on turn 6, which is okay, but I mean, there's so much weapon generation here. I think I would have put a Draconic Weapon on Adherent just to encourage Nyamu to remove an extra Draconic follower. But there's, like, at this point, there's no way for Nyamu to ignore both of the followers on Shuuka's board, I think, just because of how many pawns he's going to put out onto the board here. And because Rook is a 3/4 follower, so Shuuka is definitely going to be able to activate 4 armed this next turn. I just think there's a bit the dropping Adherent now is just a bit inefficient, because is it inefficient? Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. It's gonna force a trade, right? This is like Adherent. There's basically a ward, a pseudo ward, as we call it in the business, because Adherent forces the trade. But yeah, Nyamu does have a Knight in hand this turn. Plays the Sacred Bird for healing. Maybe could have saved that for next turn, because the healing matters more than digging through the deck for Nyamu right now. If he was going to dig, he should have played the Sacred Bird before trading those pawns to try to draw a second Knight. So a slight ordering thing. I think once you commit to killing those pawns, you should definitely just hold on to the card draw. Alright, and so this is 4 armed followers now for Shuuka. And Draconic Smash, interesting choice here. I don't think that's quite necessary. Interesting. Choosing to use Metatron here? Is that good against chess? That's a lot of pawns to get through, so maybe it's fine. But Nyamu does have Queen and Knight in hand here, so a potent combination on the chessboard, and definitely gonna let him negate this board. And I think Nyamu is currently at 4 pawns, which means after Queen and Knight, his king is gonna be active. So it'll be like a race between King and the Forte in Shuka's hand. Okay, Nyamu, let's see this. Yep, magical strategy. Trade in both of these pawns. Knight goes down to 0. Then Knight comes out. And now pawns are not buffed yet. So it was actually better to card seer first before the Knight to get extra buff pawns. Yeah, and then there's another chance to card seer there. But it's okay to insight here now and just trade both these followers into Freya for safety. Yeah. Trade into Freya for sure. Yeah. And so this is just in time king activation here from Nyamu. Could have probably been a little bit more efficient. Oh, but there's a Levitane Dragon off the top for Shuuka, and I think that's going to be able to close out the game over the next 2 turns. This is Forte this turn is going to be really strong. She only removes 1 follower. Oh, Shuka's going to dump all 3 weapons here. I don't... And to save the Evo point, I think you only use 2... You only use 2 here, right? Okay, that's actually the... I think that's actually the better snipe. It doesn't matter too much. No, we're not trading, right? Just go face. Go face. Evo face. Evo face sets up lethal. Blade Levitane and Lance Lizard next turn. Blast Farm Levitane. Lance Lizard is 10 damage, so Evo face puts Nyamu down to 9. Definitely Evo face. Levitane? Oh, but no, but put a 3rd armor. Yeah, she put a 3rd weapon into Forte, which means she doesn't have the weapon. So I think she was supposed to put 2 weapons into Forte there, and then Evo Forte for the last effect, and then Levitane with 1 weapon, and Lance Lizard is guaranteed lethal next turn. So Nyamu can't survive this. He has to king here. There's no way to deal with Forte in his deck. So Nyamu's play here is to king and evolve a pawn face. That's the only line. Yeah, yep. That's it. Definitely evolve a pawn here. It just want to reduce your likelihood of getting lethal one way or another, so yeah. Okay, so now Nyamu's at 5. Oh, that Adherent of Ardor off the top is gonna do it, I think. Levitane Evo into Blast Form. Blast Form is gonna recover 2 play... Is it 2? 2 play points? Yeah, uh-oh. Okay. Bit of a spectator delay there. Evolve, Blast Form, 4 play points left. Lance Lizard and Adherent will do it. Yep. Could even make Adherent arm. Not that it matters much. A cheeky line to target her own follower there. And all she has to do is cast turn here, and Levitane is gonna do lethal damage. And yeah, unfortunately for Nyamu, his development was just a little too slow there against the perfect curve from arms. I'm trying to think of what he could have done differently. Saving the healing, saving Sacred Bird's healing would have been very relevant there, because I don't think he drew anything off Sacred Bird that mattered the next turn, but that 2 healing would have let him survive that. No, actually, no, that 2 healing wouldn't have mattered with the Adherent top deck, unfortunately. But with anything else, right? Because the Adherent allows Shuuka to just clear all the wards there. I think also Nyamu likely should have played Rook a turn later, just to be a little better into the Forte. Yeah, because Forte comes out turn 6. His deck has no way to deal with Forte. So Rook on turn 5 is a little harder for Forte to get through. Might be able to prevent some damage. And then Queen on turn 4 is also just a little faster development. So reversing that order around might have helped Nyamu. And I think Shuuka should have only put 2 weapons into Forte and evolved. There might be some Evo stuff. I don't think Nyamu's playing Blessing, but Blessing would be the card to be cognizant of to save that Evo point. But it put her on having to top deck to lethal there, so it was a little risky. So That is going to be 2-0 for Shuuka over nyamu, and chess kind of showing its weakness a bit, going second, having being a little rough on finding healing. Just the weaknesses of the deck are apparent. It's really good when your opponent plays board based decks, but Shuka's decks are kind of like spell boost is like not engaging with Shesh's game plan and just punches through bigger after like denying chess plays a couple of turns, and then Arm Dragon is just way too fast. So yeah. So that is gonna be game. And thanks for joining me, and congrats to Shuka for taking this game over 2-0 over nyamu. And I'd like to see a bit more chess development from nyamu. Maybe just a little tighter sequencing can win some of these games. All right, it's me signing off, and peace out.